The Mastercase H500M by Cooler Master sports dual 200mm addressable RGB fans, a USB 3.1 Gen 2 Type-C port, and 4 tempered glass side panels, both sides, top, and front, and the front can swap out for a mesh panel if you want maximum airflow. It has a plethora of cable routing covers to keep things tidy too, so click the sponsor link in the description to learn more.
Excellent!
No. Oh, hi there. Sorry, I didn't see you at first. You know, there comes a point in every tech YouTuber's life when there's just too many boxes. They keep arriving and eventually they must be unboxed. So that is what this video is all about. I've got a bunch of stuff to take out of the boxes today, and I realized as I was looking through a few of these things that there's a little bit of a theme. So today, on one of the hottest days in Southern California so far this summer, I'm gonna be doing the coolest unboxing ever. Thought I'd sharpen my knife to get ready. Not very good at knife sharpening. Now I have boxes here from Thermaltake, Corsair, Noctua, Alpha Cool, and Arctic Cooling. And I have decided to start out with the Corsair boxes. And that's partially because I actually already opened at least one of these. So all three of these are from Corsair, starting out with this long one here. And inside, we have an H150i Pro. They're still using the same fans that came with the old version of the H150i, so these do a good job. They can be a little on the loud side, but they are very performance effective. And there is the actual cooler itself. 360mm radiator. It's got a silver accent around the pump unit here. This is a 6th generation Acetec pump block combo. Everything you'd expect from a solid Corsair 360mm radiator. For those who can fit it in their case, it does a very good job keeping your CPU cool. But that's not all. We got a couple more boxes here from Corsair, and these are the ones I'm a little bit more excited about because they all have to do with cooling. I am also working on providing more cooling for the Riptide build, and that is what all these are for. Actually, I already had some of these fans for the original build, but since I'm doing a 420mm radiator in the top, that's 3x140, I want to do push-pull to take up a lot of that blank space in the top of the case. And I, of course, got to stick with the same fans. I'm going everywhere within the case, which is the Light Loop series from Corsair. They're very colorful, very RGB-ish, and I'm embracing that for this build, so there it is. That should give me enough for the push-pull. And then one more little guy in here, the MP500. I already have a 960 gig version of this for the build, but the MP500, which is Corsair's M.2 NVMe SSD, which is a very good performer, 3000 megabytes per second reads, 2400 megabytes per second writes, up to, of course. Now, I'm doing a NAS build, a free NAS build in the bottom of the 1000D case because it's got space for a mini ITX case down there. I needed a very specific configuration of stuff to connect to it because I need a bunch of hard drives, I need SSDs, and I'm running free NAS. And free NAS you can run off of like an 8 gig USB drive. So I realized that I kind of need to run that off of the M.2, but installing like a 480 gig or 960 gig to run FreeNAS off of, people would go crazy for that and give me a really hard time. So I specifically asked for a 120 gig version, which is still way overkill for FreeNAS for a booting drive, but that's what I'm gonna go with, and this will work just fine for that. Next up, I have another set of packages from Corsair, and for today I had a good idea of what most of the stuff was that was gonna arrive, but I wasn't sure about everything, so I'm actually not 100% sure what's in these boxes, so we shall have to open them to find out. And inside, it's another H150i Pro, alright. You know, I've already got one of these Corsair, but now I have two of them, okay? That kind of gives me a bit of a suspicious feeling about what's in these other two boxes. Mystery box number 2 contains more RGB LL series fans, a total of 6. And I guess now that means I would be very surprised if this was anything other than an MP500. Hey, look, it's an MP500. And now I have duplicates of all that stuff back there. All right, so thank you, Corsair, for sending me 2 of everything that I asked for, but I actually don't have use for all of this stuff. So I think here's what I'm gonna do. If you guys want to post a comment in this video, I'm gonna do an impromptu giveaway. Screw it, let's make it international. I'm going to pay myself to ship the H150i Pro and the MP500 120 gig, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna need these fans or not. It depends on how everything goes with the configuration, but I'll throw in probably 1 or 2 of these boxes of fans as well. So just leave a comment and I'll give it like a week, and then I'll pick a winner from the comment section. And thanks for watching this video. I'm not gonna advertise this giveaway beyond this, so you might have a pretty decent chance of winning. Don't bother posting multiple comments, because I'm gonna use a thing that'll only give 1 entry per person. So good luck to any of you guys who might happen to win this extra stuff that Corsair sent me. Avoid where prohibited by law, and follow your local laws in your area and everything, of course, too. Our next package is from Arctic Cooling, and I ran into them at Computex. They were like, hey, can we send you some cooling stuff? And I was like, sure. And then they've emailed me since then, and I don't think I've done a very good job of following up with them, but they sent this to me nonetheless, and let's see what's inside. Oh yeah. Our Arctic MX4. I have lots of these. Looks like they have also included the Freezer 33 Esports Edition, which looks like an all black air cooler, which I'm always a fan of. And we got a couple Bionics F120 fans. Let's take a quick look at this air cooler though. Looks like we got direct copper heat pipe contact, which is always the most effective way for these coolers. And it looks like it's got a nice matte black finish on the top there, with push-pull 120mm fans that come along with it. So I can't speak as to the actual performance of this cooler off the top of my head, but I will say aesthetically, it looks quite nice. And it looks like it's available in a few different colors: yellow, green, red, and white. And it's about $46, $47 at Newegg, or about $50 at Amazon. So not quite the inexpensive price I was hoping for, but hopefully that means it's also a good cooler, since it costs a few more bucks than your typical $30-ish tower style air coolers. Next package here is from Thermaltake. I asked for just like 3 or 4 fans, and this was what they sent. We got Ring Plus fans, 20mm or 20 centimeter, 200mm fans. That's actually pretty fun. We have a Thermaltake sync controller. I didn't have one of these on hand, so this is if you want to connect up multiple Thermaltake products all together. You can use that sync controller to control them. We got the Ring Plus 14, so 140mm Ring Plus fans. It looks like there are 5 fans included in this box. Next is the Ring Plus 12, so 120mm fans, pretty much the same thing as the 140, all RGB, they're all addressable single LEDs, they're all PWM fans as well, and it's got Ring Plus RGB software control that you can use to control them all. Finally, we got a couple Thermaltake Pure Plus 12 120mm fans here. Just to point out the main difference, these are designed more for radiators, and they have the LEDs on the central hub, whereas the Ring Plus has the LEDs around the ring. This is a 3-fan kit. The blades are not clear; they're sort of frosted blades, and that's to allow the LED illumination to shine through them. Other than that, got some rubber mounting on the sides. Pretty clean looking design for fans, and I think the RGB is really the standout feature here. But anyway, thank you, Thermaltake. I now have way more fans than I had before. You guys even notice these boxes in the back? These are the really exciting ones. So if you guys can't tell, this is from Noctua. So in here, we have Noctua goodies, NF812X25. 6 of them. That's awesome. We also have these fan mounting adapters. Since these fans are 120mm, but Noctua's like, they're really so good they can also outperform 140mm fans. They sent a couple of these, which allows you to easily mount the 120 on a 140mm bracket. And then we've also got a couple CPU coolers here. The NHL12S, which is a horizontal style air cooler, and the NHL9A AM4, which is specifically designed for AM4, and this is a low profile cooler. I really like Noctua's packaging, just the way everything's laid out here, and they got you a nice thing of thermal paste, and they've got the little inline low noise adapter, so if your fan's making too much noise and you can't control it effectively with your motherboard or a fan controller, put that in line and it'll slow down the fan speed. And then the coolers themselves are just like, this feels so heavy and dense and like just premium. I really like it. So it's got an AM4 bracket on there since this is a low profile cooler made for AM4. It's got a little, I believe it's a 92mm fan on top, and that's pretty much all there is to it. So I will need to find a good home for that one, perhaps a mini ITX build or something that this would be a good suitable solution for. Then we got the NHL12S, and I think I already know what I'm going to be using this for, although I'm going to do something with it that I don't think Noctua will like, and we'll see how you guys feel about it too. So this is intended to be a low profile cooler, but it's got a bit more thermal mass, a bit more size than the extremely low profile NHL9A that's right there. Comes with a slim fan that you can fit underneath the cooler, but you can actually move that around to the top if you want to, depending on how much vertical clearance you have, as well as potentially RAM clearance configurations. It just depends on your motherboard layout. So I think what I'm actually going to do is take this fan off here, and this is an NF A12X15 that they have on here, just 15mm thick. But I'm going to ditch that, and I'm going to stick one of my 120mm Corsair LL Series RGB fans on top. And that's because the system that this is cooling is going to be the mini ITX build that's for FreeNAS. It's not going to get all that hot. I don't need that much cooling for it, and I do want to maintain the RGB aesthetic of the entire build. So that fan on top can be plugged into the AM4 motherboard to run the fan, and then the LEDs on it I will route over to the main system so that when the main system is on, all the lights will turn on and everything. But when the mini system is just on by itself, it doesn't need any lights. The fan will spin, but the lights won't go on. That's going to be my air cooler for the mini ITX build on the bottom of Riptide. Oh yeah, and I got all these A12X25s, like best fan in the world now. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, or I've been waiting for at least. I have two of these boxes. These are from AlphaCool, and this is all the water cooling parts for Riptide. Since there's two, I'm going to start with just this one, I think. These came all the way from Germany. There might be mystery things in here. All right, it is packed. It's packed with stuff in here. Wow. I'm not really sure where to begin. Let's start with something simple. So this is an AM4 bracket for AlphaCool's existing CPU block. I am using the Helix reservoir, so we have a few inserts for that, which gives that sort of Helix interior view, which looks pretty cool. I've decided there's so much stuff here that I really just need to get it all out of the box, and then I'll try to at least go down and point out what each thing is that I'm aware of. This is CKC, Cape Kelvin Catcher, which is anti-corrosion fluid. This appears to be the same thing, as far as I can tell. Just making sure I've got plenty of it to fill the loop. Alright, I have two of these. This is the Eisbacher Helix reservoir, black caps and a white helix in the middle. This is just a reservoir, and as mentioned, I've got the blue insert that I can pop in there if I decide that blue will match, or if I want to do one white and one blue. I have two of these as well. These are my GPU blocks for the GTX 1080 Ti. Listed as GTX 1080 on here, but this is the Nexus GPX from AlphaCool. And these are specifically made for the Asus Strix version of the card, so there's the instruction manual right there. I'll have to double check, make sure everything is as it should be here, but actually AlphaCool said they do have new blocks that they just came out with that are the more like acetal plexi that you can see through and everything, that are a little bit more are flashy, but I actually kind of want to embrace the sort of industrial feel for this build. Again, I'm trying to make it functional and not just crazy high-end water cooling. But there's a quick look at the block. You can see there's big old heat fins along the whole thing to provide some aid in heat dissipation. The in and out loop there for the actual GPU contact part, and there's also contact for the memory and VRM. So I'm excited about that. Next are the radiators, and I've got three of them. Two 480 rads for 4 by 120 millimeter fans. Those are going to go in the front where all of the fan mounts already are, and I did mount those up with fans already. I'm only going to pull one of these out. This is the 420 millimeter radiator. This is 3 by 140, and geez, that's incredibly beefy. Copper fins in the middle, of course. So there's going to be an insane amount of cooling on this, which basically means I'm going to be able to run the fans at like almost off. G1 connectors down there on the ends for your fittings or whatever else you're going to connect up there to complete the loop, and a black finish. We have a bunch of fittings, extensions, extenders. These are all different varieties, different sizes, so not going to go through them all. I have 2 pumps since I'm doing 2 loops. These are D5 pumps, and these are separate from the reservoir that I showed you earlier. But as you can see, nice black sleeving on the back there, and then various in and out points depending on how I actually want to configure the loop. I will need to figure out some proper mounting brackets for this, although there is a kit that comes in the box itself to help you out with that. Next we have fittings, and that's what's in this white box, is a bunch of these sets of fittings here, and there's more sets of fittings in there. I'm going to need quite a few fittings because I need fittings for any point where a block needs a connection point. For example, connection points for all of these quick disconnects that I've got here. But these are compression fittings. I'm using soft tubing. And there's a quick look there. Nice clean finish on them. I like it. You can even choose what color O-ring you want. We got red, turquoise, and yellow. It's kind of an interesting add-on there. Wonder if these have different properties somehow. I already mentioned quick disconnects, but I have a set of 8 of them here. And again, this is to set it up so that my CPU can be removed, just the block itself. I can use these to easily disconnect from the loop. And these things are pretty sturdy, and they're also sort of spring-loaded here. So when you pop them in or remove them, they kind of pop out like that, which is fun. But this is kind of, I'm actually probably the most excited about these because these are very highly praised and sought after quick disconnects from AlphaCool. People use them in a lot of different systems. And I think just practically speaking, especially if you guys watched the Arctic Panther video where I had to disassemble the whole thing and clean out the blocks and everything, maintenance-wise or any upgrades I want to do, or just getting in to connect to get at stuff that might be otherwise blocked by hardline tubing, I think I'm going to have a better long-term solution here going with the soft tubing and the quick disconnects. This is sort of an interesting product. I wasn't expecting to find it AlphaCool, but I did, and it's something I need. For the Mini ITX build at the bottom, I have an interesting situation where I actually have 2 M.2 slots, but I can't use both of them because of the CPU I'm using, which is going to be the 2400G. So I'm going to need to use a single PCIe by 16 slot on the Mini ITX board to put an M.2 riser, and AlphaCool actually makes one. This one here, and even comes with some passive cooling to go on top of that too. This is our CPU block, the Ice Block XPX CPU, and I do want to point out for anyone who's going to bring this up in the comments, this is not the ideal block to use for Threadripper, simply because it's not designed specifically for Threadripper. It'll get the job done, it'll cool it just fine, and that is again why I have this adapter kit for TR4. I might have said AM4 earlier. This is a Threadripper adapter, so you can use the Ice Block XPX on a TR4 CPU mount, but there's a decent chance that I might swap this out in the future. Again, thanks to the quick disconnects, I can do that without needing to completely disassemble the loop. So this will work for now, and of course, gotta have that adapter to make sure I can mount it on my CPU. But guys, that's going to do it for this video, so of course hit the thumbs up button on your way out if you enjoyed it, and subscribe because I've got the Riptide builds coming and I'm going to get to work on that like as soon as possible. Also, if you're interested, I have merchandise, shirts like this one, as well as mugs, pint glasses, bottle openers, and you can find those on my store down in the video's description. And of course, if you have any friends who are into PC building or liquid cooling and you want to share my channel or this video with them as well, that would be much appreciated. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.